Oh, my beloved PS Vita, why must you hate me so? Your battery's gone flat, I want to play my games, and I don't want to get hand cramp from pressing your teeny tiny buttons. Thankfully, Sony seems to have released something to resolve that issue. Get rid of that. Welcome to the PlayStation TV, and as you can see, it is a really small, teeny tiny unit, akin to those sort of Android mini devices that you can often get for your TV, or like the Kindle Fire TV that's now available. Very nice tiny little unit. Let's have a quick look at it. Nothing on the side. Sort of matte textured top, but glossy front. So that will still collect fingerprints. Tiny little LED there to point out when it's powered on. PS Vita connection, yes, you can put your PS Vita games in here. Yep, PS Vita cartridge. On the back, power, Ethernet, HDMI, USB, and irritating PS Vita memory card solution. Yes, incredibly irritating. You'd think by this point, if there's a USB port in the thing, at least allow us to use USB sticks, Sony. We can't afford to spend £50 for 32 gigabytes of storage, Jesus Christ. But yeah, very neat little unit. So, how do you control it? Well, you connect it by USB using a DualShock 3, like I have here, or you can also use a DualShock 4. Both have, as far as I know, I don't have a DualShock 4 to test because I don't have a PS4 yet. PS4 controller doesn't seem to give it any additional features. This is what I had hooked up beforehand. This was my PSP, and I play my PSP games on a large screen with this. Unfortunately, it has that irritating means of putting it very windowed on the main screen. But it's still a way of playing my PS Vita games on a large screen. Or PSP games rather on a large screen. So is there a way I could do that with the Vita? So, let me plug this in. I should just point out, by the way, incidentally, what you get in the box. You get a voucher code. If you buy the basic one like I did, I think there is one that allows it to come with a controller as well. I don't know about that one, I didn't buy that one. Comes with a voucher for 3 games. Worms, Velocity Ultra, and Ollie Ollie. Good, potentially crap, but hey, they were free. Voucher code there. You wonder why I'm covering it up? It's already covered up. Yeah, comes with a little scratch of codes, comes in a Vita case, so if you've got a spare game, I suppose you could shove that in there. Also comes in the box. There's another box. Inside is your power supply, standard block, ending in standard plug, HDMI cable, and some leaflets. Nothing really worth writing home about. Like I said before, you'll need your Vita memory card, 16 gig one there from my PS Vita. But it does come with a 1 GB storage, much like the PS Vita Slim. So if all you need is 1 GB and all you're going to do is play games, then that's fine. But chances are you're going to need to download movies and things. The 1 GB standard is not going to be enough. You're going to have to buy one of these. And no chance of using any external storage devices like USB hard drives. But anyway, enough of that. Let's plug the thing in. And since I can't capture using the capture card, HDCP enabled sadly, I will now point the camera at the TV and show you what it's like. And we're now hooked up to the actual television. I'm going to stand off to the side, so my voice sounds slightly different, I apologise. I should also point out, I forgot to mention the release date of this thing. This was on the 14th or 15th of November, depending on where you are, for PAL regions. It's been out in North America for a few years, and it's been out in Japan even longer. So there's really no excuse for anything that could possibly go wrong, because, hey, it's been out for quite a while in other countries, and by the time it's come out here, it'll be all fleshed out and all absolutely perfect. By the way, you might be able to notice the sarcasm of my voice. So the first thing you have to do with this system, connect up USB cable to your DualShock 3 or DualShock 4 controller, press the home button, and it will sync up, and it'll take you through the standard setup. So select the language, adjust the screen size, and you're taken through the standard PlayStation Vita setup. I'm not going to bother, oh hell with that, I may as well. Today is the 17th, it's my birthday tomorrow, yay! Time, what's the current time? It's about 12 o'clock. I'm going to say I don't. I do have a PlayStation Network account, I just can't be bothered setting it up. My date of birth. And that's PlayStation set up. Obviously the only difference would be, oh, you can see me in the reflection of the screen, hello. Yes, I've inserted the 16GB memory card. Have I? Well, there's my network account if you want to see it. I hardly ever use my PlayStation Vita anymore. I'm more a PS3 person myself, and I don't plan on getting the PS4 anytime soon. But yeah, you're taken to this kind of menu, which is just your standard PS Vita menu. If you bear with me just 1 second. Yeah, I didn't plug in my memory card. What the hell is it talking about? Is it talking about the internal 1GB storage? Well, anyway, my 16GB memory card is in now. Yeah, I think that's what it might be. The 1GB storage is being read as a 1GB memory card. Seems like a very cheap way to do it, Sony, just saying. Okay, and the system has now restarted. So, memory card in, sign into PlayStation Network, updating the database for whatever reason, probably because it's now signed me into my network and now reading the memory card. And here's the games I've installed. Thank goodness for that. Okay, so we're starting off with my new release, Tales of Hearts R, if you can see that. Go into Tales of Hearts R. Start the game. Starts up just fine. This is how it's supposed to work. For some strange reason though, it seems to disable the network features every single time I enter a game. Don't understand why that is, just does it. But yeah, fair use for review purposes of course, but here you go. Tales of Hearts are working as intended, like a PS Vita game should. Hold the home button down for a few seconds. You can enable the touch pointer by using L3, R3, or to pinch both the back and front of the screen, press L3 and R3 and at the same time to emulate touchscreen input. So potentially all your Vita games could work with this if you are pretty handy when it comes to pressing in L3 and R3 and moving around and pressing X to tap buttons. Not ideal for high-paced games that use touch, but anyway. Enough of that. So we know that Tales of Hearts R works. Oh boy. Out comes that cartridge. Bring this case with you. Now, a launch release I think for the PlayStation Vita, this one. Reality Fighters. Has a few camera and I think it has a few motiony movements as well, but there's also features that allow you to bypass those and just use plain environments in this game for fighting. So I shall put Reality Fighters into there. Reality Fighters disc. Installing the shortcut. There's the case. If you wanted to see it. Go into Reality Fighters, press start. And this is what you get with about 90% of the games I own. This application cannot be used with this system. Of course. So, out comes this. The even more teasing thing is that I've just taken the cartridge out, I pressed the button, insert the PS Vita card that contains this application. So if you try and start it up just based on the shortcut and don't have the card, it'll tell you to put the card in, only to get met by the giant FU screen. Right, I have a few other unboxed games here as well. I did also try Gravity Rush, first person Sony title, first party Sony title rather. Doesn't work, though maybe understandably because it uses so many different gyroscopic and camera based features. However, not really the case with this one. Right, let's try this one, Lumines. Lumines Electronic Symphony. Again, just random games that I've picked up. Don't have a box for this one, sadly. This is just a loose cartridge that I found in a second-hand shop. Not supported with the system. Again, could be touch-based input. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. So let's try something a bit more first-party-ish. Everybody's Golf. A game that can be played completely with touchscreen-based inputs. And incidentally, if I went into the PlayStation Store, it would allow me to download this on this system. Could have potentially paid quite a bit of money. Or was the download from my previous downloads? I can't quite remember. But the system allows me to download it regardless, if it was already a purchase. But this game can be played just with buttons, no gyroscopic features. There is a touch-based input for swinging the club. This application cannot be used with this system. Same also applies to Little Big Planet for the PlayStation Vita. But let's try something which actually quite surprised me. Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. I love these games, I really do. So imagine my disappointment when after putting a game like this, which is designed to work purely with buttons, because it was made for the PlayStation 2, these games. Metal Gear Solid HD. Not first party, but they're made for the PlayStation. Press start. This application cannot be used with this system. Why? This thing was made to work with buttons. So why is it not working? I don't know. I haven't tried many of the other features available. You can take your memory card directly out of your Vita and put it into the PlayStation TV, and it will work just fine. It will transport all your games and all the rest of it over, but like I say, if you've got games of all sorts, chances are they won't work on this system. You can also play PS1 classics, ones that will allow you to, that don't use L2 and R2, I think, despite the fact that you're using a DualShock 3 or 4 that has all the buttons. And it also plays PSP games, which should run pretty much all of them without a hitch. I haven't tried one yet. I need to activate the system. Not doing that. But as far as I'm aware, PSP games pretty much run without a hitch on this thing. PS Vita games, well, unless it's the very few that have been whitelisted by Sony, you're not going to be playing any of them. And unless the PS1 game that you're downloading doesn't use L1 or L2 or R2, or they might have L2 and R2 mapped to the L1 and R1 buttons. Perfect example of this, Metal Gear Solid 1. L1 and R1 are pretty much useless because they're quick change buttons, and you could potentially do that just by going through the menu on L2 and R2 to pick weapons and items. Also, people who I've seen before who have had Netflix installed on their PlayStation Vitas, transfer the memory card to this, can't even use Netflix. Netflix is not supported. Of all things you would want to work for something like this, no Netflix. No Amazon Video either. If you want video on this, you have to get your videos from Sony for the time being. Might be changed with future updates, might be changed as the apps themselves are updated, but as it stands, for a release date, this is a massive flop, despite the fact it's been out in the world for about 5 months now. Also, cost me £85. That's why I'm annoyed. So in conclusion, can I recommend the PlayStation TV to you? Based on my personal experience of it over the past day, yes, I only received it a couple of days ago. In fact, no, I received it a couple of days ago. Played about with it that day and the day after. And today, I'm returning it to Amazon, who I purchased it from. So, quite frankly, no, I cannot recommend it to you. Because it just seems horribly nerfed in every way possible. Would you like to play your PS Vita games on it? Great, yeah, you can only play the ones that work with buttons and nothing else. Because we can't be bothered to release patches for them. There may be patches in the future, who can say? For me, right now, not a chance. So, what about other features? Well, Netflix doesn't work on it. At least it doesn't work on it right now. May change in the future, but if you're going to hook yourself up as a tiny little device to connect to an HD TV and all the rest of it, and you want to compete with the competition such as your Kindle Fire HDs, your Android tablets, your Android game devices, those kind of things, you do really, really need to have video support. If you want to watch movies on it as it stands at the moment, your only option is to go into the PlayStation Store and rent or buy your movies from there. And I don't think they're cheap. Okay, so what about the main selling point then? Streaming a PS4 from room to room. So yeah, if I have the PlayStation 4 in the living room and I want to play the PlayStation 4 in here, I could potentially just use remote play and start playing PS4 games on this TV. I don't have a PS4, I haven't tried this, but from reviews that I have read on Amazon and other places, there's a network delay. Even the fastest of connection has a delay between the unit over your network. And also I've heard that there's great amounts of pixelation, probably as a result of the digital connection. So I don't think I could even recommend it for that. So what does that leave, to be frank? There's nothing left to do. There's nothing left for it to do. It can't play your PS Vita games, your PSP games and your PS1 games. They'll work on your PSP or your Vita anyway. So why would you need the PlayStation TV? So what's your other options then? Video? Nope, that's nerfed up the backside as well. And there's issues so far with the PS4 streaming capability, which was its main selling point. So, as far as I can tell, at the moment in time, it's completely useless. So, my rating, probably about 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. The games it does run, it runs well. What it doesn't run, it doesn't run.